you're attracted to men that emotionally are just not available.
Yeah.
They're not available. Your experiences and you're still being driven by those processes, then you know what? You need help.
Yeah.
Get help.
Yeah. Yeah. And a challenging childhood is, everybody's story is unique, and a lot of people have challenging childhoods. But let's face it, most people have challenging childhoods. Most people have something that have happened, that have transpired, that makes us, that have impacted us in a negative way. We all have a story, and so in some cases it makes us special, and in other cases it really don't. And so you have to do the work, and with the, with having children already, I think one of the things that that can be, kind of tough with having children already is when you have children and then you want your husband to be better than the children's father. And so, hey, you got to be realistic. You have children already. What do you really want? Now, hey, the baby daddy was a drug dealer. So now you want the president of, now you looking for the vice president of Bank of America. That's unrealistic expectations. Yeah. It's very unrealistic, and you see it a lot, especially in our community. Yeah. You have kids with a drug dealer. Now you want a farmer. Now you want now you want a doctor. Yeah. That's unrealistic.
Yeah. 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 And let's go to number 6. So reason number 6 that prevent women from being married is unhealthy attraction. I remember in school, the first time I saw this, man, I was just crazy about this girl. And I remember, hey, I didn't have a lot going for myself, when I was in school. So I didn't have money. I didn't have a car. I didn't run the ball. I didn't shoot the ball. I didn't kick the ball. I wasn't academically gifted. But she had this attraction to one of the local drug dealers, because he had money. He always had the freshest gear. And so it was an unhealthy attraction. And I oftentimes, I don't know where she is now, but oftentimes it makes me wonder. So I wasn't perfect, but I've always been, a pretty decent guy. So, I've got my flaws, but you know what? I've always, been a pretty decent guy, even back then. And so a lot of times, you're attracted to men that emotionally are just not available.
Yeah.
They're not available. And if a guy is too into you, then you're not attracted to him. Because you say, you know what? He's too into me. What's wrong with him?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So, and then there's these embedded fears of intimacy. And that's getting into, your relationship style. Some people call it your attachment. And so your embedded fears of intimacy. So you have these fears, and the closer you get, the more you're going to find something wrong with that person. And that is an unhealthy attachment. And then you've got this negative critical thoughts about men, about your relationship, and about yourself.
Right.
That's what it all comes down to.
Yeah.
And then dating the same guys.
Yep.
These guys, they're bad boys. Like one girl told me, she said, I like ugly men. And I said, wow, you like ugly men? And she says, oh yeah. She said, ugly men love you the best. Hey, that's an unhealthy attraction, right? Yep. You know how that relationship worked and you know how it went. It didn't go so good. Not for her.
Yep. Yep.
That's unhealthy. You need therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Unhealthy attractions. It's deep. It's deep. It's deep. And in your 20s, when a woman is in her 20s, she get tied up with this guy that's a drug dealer or an ugly guy or whatever, someone that's gonna never give her what she wants. She wastes the prime years of her life on guys that will never ever give them what they want. And then you wake up, you're 35, you got 2 kids, and now I'm ready. I'm ready to get married. I want to get married now.
Yeah.
I'm ready for marriage.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's kind of the story, you get in relationships, you see it's not going anywhere. Hey, cut ties.
Cut ties. Yeah. The sooner the better.
The sooner the better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sooner the better.
And I remember when Nashima and I were dating, and I was in the military at the time, and and I told her, if she could, move up to Maryland. So I brought her up to Maryland, where I was stationed at the time, and I said, hey, we can get an apartment together. And she said, hey, we can get an apartment together, but I'm not going to be living with you without an intention. And the intention is to be married.
Right.
And so she put that expectation and that intention out there.
Right.
And when you do that, people will honor it. Don't get upset about how you allow people to treat you.
Right.
So, and so you have to, and most guys know usually after the first 3 to 6 months, whether this is a relationship, whether this could be a potentially long-term relationship, or is this something that I'm just, we just hanging out. This is just something that I'm doing right now. And so, but that unhealthy attraction, it reminds me, Dwayne, there used to be a show, I don't think it comes on anymore, but it's called Fatal Attraction. And it was about people that were attracted to these animals that were like tigers and hyenas and crocodiles and alligators, and they would make them pets.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? As I would love to have a tiger as a pet, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's an unhealthy attachment.
Yeah.
That's an unhealthy attraction.
Mm-hmm.
It is a fatal attraction.
Yeah.
And some of these relationships, they're not going anywhere, and they're fatal.
Yep.
They're abusive. They're fatal.
Yep. Yeah, it's like that. It's like that lady that had the monkey, and she loved her monkey.
Oh yeah.
And she treated that monkey like it was a baby.
Oh man.
And it was all well and good till the monkey got mad and ripped her face off. She did something. She didn't give him a banana. It was something, but he took his claws and ripped her face clean off. Woman had to get she had to get plastic surgery, get a new face.
But that monkey was going through
unhealthy attachments, unhealthy attractions.
It was going through puberty. The monkey was going through puberty, man. It's going through teenage. I mean, it was a very kind and gentle monkey, but when they go through the teenage years, then they get a little off-centered.
Yeah, now I understand. Monkey see, monkey do.
All right.
And and going back to something you just said about these unhealthy attractions. Hey, don't fool yourself. A man knows within about between 2 and about 3-4 months, a man knows if he gonna marry you. He may not tell you because he might just want to hang out for whatever purpose you're serving. So you might just be giving good sex, and he might just hang out for the good sex until the ride is over.
Right.
But he knows whether or not he gonna marry you. So if there are some exceptions to the rule, but 9 times out of 10, hey, if you're with that guy for 5 years, he's not gonna marry you. You with the guy for 4 years, 6 years, 3 years, he is not gonna marry you. If a man is gonna marry you, he's just gonna do it. And you're not gonna have to ask. He's gonna say, hey, we should get married.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so hey, with Dana, I knew probably it was about a month or two.
Yeah.
I didn't tell her, but I knew. I said, man, this is a ride or die here. I think I'm gonna roll with this one.
Yeah.
A man knows.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and going to the next point, low self-esteem. Low self-esteem. And hey, you feel like you're not worth it. You feel like, hey, I'm too fat. I'm too old. I'm too ugly. I'm too this. I'm too that. And believe me, if you want to get married, there's a guy out there for you. Yeah. If that's your intention, and you want a great guy, hey, there's somebody out there for you.
It really is.
But are you willing to put in the work?
You got to put the work in.
Are you willing to put in the work? A lot of us, battle, issues with self-esteem, and a lot of us battle. But if it's something that you are, hey, maybe it might be time to get some therapy and find out the root cause of that. Right.
And the key word is battle with it. You have to battle with it.
Right.
And you have to do it anyway.
Yeah.
So, what do they say? Courage is not the absence of fear, but courage is doing it despite feeling the fear.
Right.
So, self-esteem is something you build. You can build your self-esteem.
Right.
So, but the mind that created the problem is not the same mind that's going to solve the problem for you.
Right.
So, yeah, you may be different. You may be eccentric, but that's okay. Okay. There's someone, like Dwayne said, there's someone out there for you.
Yeah.
I'm
probably going to, I probably get clobbered for this one.
Right.
But, in our culture and in our community, hey, we celebrate being big and fat. We celebrate that. Oh, I'm big bone. I'm a round brown. I got a Coca-Cola bottle shape.
A who?
A Coca-Cola bottle shape.
Okay.
I'm thick. And we celebrate unhealthiness.
Yeah.
We celebrate being unhealthy.
Right.
And so, hey, if you feel like, well, I think I might be too fat. Well, you probably are.
Yeah.
And you probably need to, hit the gym. And you probably, and it happens as you get older. As you get older, we get more sedentary. We're sitting for longer.
Yeah.
We're working longer. And it's just naturally to pack on the pounds.
Right.
When I was in my 20s, man, I could eat whatever I want. I ate ice cream every day. I can eat what I want and go to the toilet and get rid of it and stay thin. Well, now,
not a good visual, but anyway, go ahead.
But now, now that I'm older, hey man, it's tough. And the pounds just start packing on. But instead of saying, man, I look, hey, I look good with this good. No, it's time to get in there, and it's okay. It's fine to get in there and admit that, hey, I done put on a few pounds, and I need to, tighten that thing up a little bit.
Yeah. And sometimes you go through things emotionally and you just have a hard time getting back on the horse again. And so if you're too fat, then you don't have to worry about getting back on the horse, because the horse is not going to hold you anyway.
Right.
But
I'd have to get a mule or an ox.
You're not available.
Yeah. And I think you call it's padding. And so if you done picked up a few too many pounds, why are you padding on? What is it? Why are you trying to keep people off of you? What are you, what's going on with that? And that's where therapy come in, because a lot of it is just padding. Right. Hey, stay away from me. And how I feel is, how I look is how I feel about myself.
Right. Yeah. And and a lot of times with low self-esteem, Dwayne, women fear competition.
Yeah.
If you're 35, you're going to compete, because there's not a big pool out there, because most of the guys that, a lot of the guys are married already.
Yeah. A lot of the good guys, are taken, as well as a lot of great girls. They're taken.
Absolutely. And so there may be some competition. And so, embrace that.
Yep.
Embrace that.
Yep. And, hey, that means, hey, you gotta tighten it up, go to the gym or whatever, work on some personal development, to set yourself apart, and hey, I'm gonna work on being soft. I'm gonna work on being gentle. I'm gonna work on being, a kind-hearted, submissive woman. Everybody don't need to know my opinion. My opinion is not warranted unless somebody asks for it. And these are some of the things, hey, that can, hey, you might be 35, but it can put you ahead.
Yeah.
So that a guy be like, oh yeah, I like this girl.
Yeah.
Hey, you opinionated, want to give your opinion all the time. You're fat. Hey, come on. Who wants that? You got a quarreling woman and you got a high grocery bill.
You qualify for unhappiness.
Yeah. It's kind of like Solomon said. Solomon said it's better to live in the desert than live in a house with a quarreling woman.
All right. So let's do a recap for the 8 things that prevent women from being married. So 1 is lies. Mama told you. You believe those lies. Number 2 is you're aggressive. Number 3 is unrealistic expectations. Number 4 is too religious. Number 5 is too much baggage. Number 6